So I'm actually going to turn it over to Sean for, well, first of all, thank you everyone for coming. And so we know that your time is precious, and so we want to kind of highlight some great resources we have. We also know that now with Perkins 5, we all have to have that letter of support from post-secondary institutions. So we just kind of wanted to walk you through some different options we have at SDSU for you to engage with us, either in specific career or college areas, like if you have a specific pathway you want to dive into, we're going to do that. And actually, we're going to turn it over to Sean, who can kind of talk to us about some general things that you could use with like maybe a middle school or freshman careers class. So with that, I'll have Sean walk you through some of the great virtual tools we have, and then we'll dive in from there.
Well, thanks, Laura, and thanks for joining us, everyone. Appreciate being here this morning. As Michelle said, my name is Sean Hembolt. I'm the Director of Admissions here at South Dakota State University. And Laura asked me a week ago here or so if we could maybe just touch base for a few minutes about some of the opportunities that we do have for students here in South Dakota to do a little bit of career exploration through some of our admissions processes and practices that we have here at the university as well. I would say that we do have opportunities for students really of probably all ages, starting from middle school and on up. And I'll maybe highlight just a couple things for a few older students at that older high school grade level first, and then also hit on some opportunities for students who are starting that career exploration, whether they be in middle school or early high school years as well too. So we do offer, through our admissions processes, we do offer a number of campus visit type opportunities for students that obviously serve as opportunities to explore South Dakota State University, but provide pretty great career exploration opportunities right alongside of them as well. And most of them are probably designed for, I would say, sophomores and above. But they do provide great opportunities to touch base with folks across our university to learn a little bit more about academic programs and how, in turn, those academic programs lead into different career opportunities. So we offer daily campus visits, and obviously, things have changed a little bit in the era of COVID, but as of yesterday, South Dakota State University is now offering daily campus visit opportunities again. Typically, part of our daily campus visits are opportunities to learn a little bit more about South Dakota State University through admissions, to explore campus through a campus tour. But we always try to schedule an hour with an academic program of choice as well. So if you have a student that's interested in engineering, you can get over and they can visit with our lower College of Engineering and learn a little bit more about engineering programs, engineering disciplines, and the career fields that those programs would lead into here at South Dakota State as well. Probably better served for career exploration are two visit programs that we typically have during a normal year. A program called Senior Day that happens every September, and a program called Junior Day that happens every January or early February. Those two programs are large visit programs where we basically have representatives from every academic program here at South Dakota State University represented as part of a career fair or a major fair. And students can walk around and can visit 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes with a professor or faculty member, with students, with folks from our academic programs to learn just a little bit more about those programs and, again, the career areas that they lead into here at South Dakota State University as well. For your students that are a little bit younger or students from home and right now who maybe aren't coming to visit us here at SDSU, I'm going to drop into the chat our visit website. And on that visit website, if you open that up, you'll see a link there that says Explore SDSU from anywhere and anytime, or Explore SDSU from home. I'll put that direct link in the chat here now as well. That link basically provides short little 5 or 10 minute videos as you scroll down for a lot of our academic programs and areas here at SDSU. And those short little 5 or 10 minute videos are just great opportunities to be able to learn a little bit more about some of our academic programs, the career pathways that those academic programs provide, and something that can just be done from home, right? So a student can hop on during school or class. They could explore for 5 or 10 minutes. They could, do a little feedback or report on what they learned and what opportunities were out there for them as well too. So great options for them right on our website as well too. While we're out on the site, I also want to point out another resource that's out there that students have found very helpful as well. And I'll throw this link into the chat here if you give me just a second as well too. But this is called our Degree Explorer, and it's located right underneath the academic tab of our website. And it basically provides your students an opportunity to click on or explore any academic program that is available to them here at SDSU. I don't know if I have the ability to share my screen. It doesn't look like I do.
Michelle, can you give him the ability to screen share?
If not, Michelle, that's fine. I can keep talking through this for sure, but Michelle, or Laura, do you have the ability already?
To screen share, I can. Yeah, you should be able to share now.
Yes, I just made him co-host.
Okay. So what I'm sharing now is that Explore Majors and Career tab of our website. And this is a website that, a page of our website that we've worked on a lot here at SDSU in the last couple years. It really provides just a great opportunity for students to look at all of our academic majors, our programs. They can look at the undergraduate level, the graduate level. They can search by keyword if they're interested. You can see a student that's interested in pre-med could put in pre-med keyword, apply that filter, and you're going to see a number of programs that come up that students might be able to major in for the pre-med area. I get that out of there. Another nice feature here is you can search by interest area. So say you have a student that's interested in business and management. They click on business and management there, click on apply filters, and you're going to see all programs at South Dakota State University that relate to business and management in some way. And for example, if I click on business economics here, it's going to bring me to a page where there is a lot more information about business econ here at South Dakota State University. Everything from academic advising guide sheets to how you apply, how you schedule a visit. Is this program right for you? What career opportunities, come out of a program like this? Recent employers, where our students are going to work, internship opportunities, contact information, just a lot more information about those programs. It's also nice. It kind of has related careers over here on the right-hand side as well too. So it gives students some additional pathways that they might be interested in exploring through that program as well. So this page, our Explore Majors and Career page, like I said, I dropped the link into the chat. It's located right underneath the academics tab of our main website. So if you're out on sdstate.edu, and you click on academics, and then you click on undergraduate majors, brings you right to that page. And we found it very useful. We've got a lot of great feedback from students that are exploring careers, exploring colleges and universities as just a great avenue to learn a little bit more about our academic programs and the pathways that are there for them as well too. We also have a lot of resources, hard copy resources that we can share. For example, I'll just hold up here as well too, one of our academic fact sheets, and we have these for all of our academic programs. If you or your students would ever be interested in gathering a set of these or gathering any resources for students to explore academic programs, we could definitely get these types of resources out to you as well too. It provides a lot of the similar information that you see online on that Degree Explorer site. But some students just love to have that in front of them. They love to have that resource in front of them that they can touch and feel and look through and page through on that end of it as well. So we'd be happy to send those out to you. They also provide great kind of student testimonials about those career programs or majors, and kind of a profile of a student that's been successful in that area in the past year as well. Two other quick things I want to touch on before I throw it back over to Laura and Nicole. One, during the summer months, typically, right? Summer 2020 was a little odd, but during the summer months, typically, we do provide lots of great career exploration opportunities on our campus, organized through our academic programs. Things like our Fishback Summer Scholars Program, youth engineering camps, health professionals camp. There's typically a math camp, just lots of different types of camps and exploration opportunities for students to come and learn a little bit more about careers during the summer months. And I would definitely look for those to resume with us here during the summer of 2021 as we get to a new year here, new calendar year. And then last but not least, our Office of Career Development also offers a tool called Focus to Career. And Focus to Career is a tool that we offer for our SDSU students here to explore careers, majors, and pathways at the university. But we have partnered with them, our Office of Career Development, our Office of Admissions, to be able to offer that Focus to Career to students who are exploring SDSU from the prospective student side as well too. So if you have a junior or senior who's starting that college search, starting to look at South Dakota State University, unsure about career path, unsure about major, they can work with our Office of Admissions and our Career Development Office, and we can get them into that Focus to Career inventory and allow them to do that to get some info and feedback for them in regards to maybe where their interests, their strengths lie in regards to how they match up with career opportunities and majors and programs here at South Dakota State University as well. So that was a quick 10 minutes or so. I would be happy to stand by for any questions that you guys have, but definitely we'll pass it back over to Laura and Nicole for just for some information from them as well. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Sean before I know he's very busy, so we'll let him go if no one's got any other questions, but we will, the links he put in the chat, I will also copy and paste into the resource file that's up on Google Docs, so you can have those as well. So any questions for Sean?
All right. Well, not hearing any. Thank you guys for all you do. We love our partnerships with our high school instructors across the state of South Dakota. So thank you for the support and everything that you guys do for your students, and keep sending them our way. We want more jackrabbits here in Brookings as well too. We're getting ready to welcome a couple thousand of them in a couple days here in a little bit of a unique environment, but we feel like we have a good plan in place and we're ready to go. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Sean. Very good. So excellent. Okay, so Sean kind of walked us through the general stuff that we looked at, and so I just kind of wanted to walk you through a couple other things to see what each college is offering. So I would like to share my screen. All right, so can you folks see that? It should see SDS Resources and Contacts, correct? Okay, great. And so on this resource and contacts list, I did reach out to several schools colleges, and these are the colleges that got back to me and had information. But if you see a pathway that's not represented and you want to know more, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And so the College of Ag has got Brad Blaha is their contact, and I think if you were at SDSU recently, you know Brad, and so he is the one who coordinates the College of Agriculture ambassadors. So typically they have gone out and will come to your classroom and talk about the different majors within agricultural or within the College of Ag. This fall, they are not going out face to face, I don't think. So they're doing virtual ones. So if you would like to have ambassadors come visit a single class and you're out maybe in Bison, you can definitely email Brad and he'll arrange it so you have some people to come in and do some virtual interaction as well. He did ask me to let you know that his wife is going to have a baby within the next few days, so he might be a little slow to respond to email, but he was very excited about this. This spring, they are hoping to start back up a day in the life of series. So if, for example, you wanted to bring your class to campus, so let's say you have senior Ag 4 students that you wanted to bring to campus, you would contact Brad. And so what he would do is he'd work with your students to identify what careers they want to do. And then you kind of, like if you had a student who was in dairy science, you would shadow a dairy science student for the day and kind of go to their classes and hang out with them. And so they typically have done that in the spring where they say, here's our day in the life of, and so they invite people out. But if you are interested and you want to watch for that in the future, make sure you email him to get on the list. And then the other thing that they offered to do was Zoom a professor. So if you are interested in having a professor who works in the College of Ag Zoom into your class to either talk about their program or talk about something really specific, they will help you find someone to do that. So if you're, doing plant science, and you want to talk to someone about, hey, how do you even breed crops? They would find somebody from agronomy to come Skype in with you. And so that's kind of like what their big things are this fall. They are looking to roll more out in the future, but that's where we're at this fall. I'm sure you know very well that life has changed drastically since we started working on this project, but those are the offerings within the College of Ag. And so there's the list of who is in the dean's office, and we'll go through the links in a little bit. But then the fields of study. The College of Education and Human Sciences is another one that will also come out and do virtual ambassador visits too as well. And so Chanda Walter's in charge of that. And so she talked about doing those virtual ambassador visits. The College of Education and Human Sciences is a really unique pathway or unique college because it takes a lot of the family and consumer sciences pathway and like the aviation transportation pathways in it as well, because that's where the aviation program is housed. And so that's why we have and I'll walk you through these links in a little bit. And then also, so they do the virtual ambassador visits. They also do Zoom a professor as well. The dean, Jill Thorngren, has actually volunteered to coordinate that. So if you want to talk to the dean, she has volunteered to be someone who would help as well. So that's a contact, and you can talk to her as well. And then Jerome, the College of Engineering also has someone who works specifically with partners, and so they work to build partnerships with secondary PK, P12 partnerships about STEM education, and their contact is Pete Roberts. And he's very enthusiastic because I said, what are you offering? And he said, anything related to career exploration, I will work with you to meet your needs. So he's very enthusiastic. So if you wanted a tour of some of the engineering labs or to talk to things, like, don't be afraid to ask. Because things have gone virtual, there are so many more virtual options. So like if you wanted to tour the swine facility at SDSU, you could email Brad and say, hey, can we do a virtual tour of the front line of the swine facility? And they might have a website set up, they might have a pre-recorded video, or they might actually get in contact with someone to walk you through that swine facility. So the biggest thing is, if you have an idea in mind, go ahead and ask. So that's that would be my one piece of advice for that. I also wanted to walk you through how to navigate our website, because sometimes our website is not the easiest to navigate. So if you look at the website, like it's here, and so Sean walked you through the career exploration stuff. But if you wanted to do the College of Ag, I just type in colleges. And so you get to this. And so if you want to look at something, you can Google, like you type in College of Ag or any college and department. So here's a list of the colleges that we have at South Dakota State. So the College of Ag, the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. You can see that they're broken down by programs. So if you maybe are like at the Career Academy, because I think Kathy, you're at the Career Academy. I think I saw that. So you have lots. You would be all over the map, or all over in a bunch of different colleges. So you can kind of see the programs that they have. But if you click on them, you can do some exploration of who we are. You can see what our departments are, and so you can do a deep dive into it. But I think the most important part is this little tiny thing right here that says Our People is where you actually go to see who could you contact. And so the Our People, the tiny one, is the important part to see what you're looking at. So you can see someone's profiles, they have advisors. So this is the College of Education and Human Sciences. So Dean Thorngren, like I said, has volunteered to help line up speakers for your class. Shonda Walter is our ambassador, or our admission, or our college ambassador coordinator. So she's there. You can go to departments, things like that. So that's the important thing is, if you want to find people, you have to click on the Our People button, which is not always easy to find on the website. So like if you go to the College of Ag, Our People, there's like a general email, but Our People gives you someone specific, so you can see who the deans are, the directors, the department heads. And then here's Brad, who you talk to. So some of them, like the coordinators or the staff, will have someone who does recruitment and academic services, and that's another good contact. So that's our website. So just the magic is Our People button. But if push comes to shove and you need someone to contact, just send myself or Dr. Graves an email, and we'll do our best to make it happen. The other thing is, oops, let me screen share one more time. The other thing is, the last thing I have on there, besides contact people, so who you can do it, is tips for communicating with us. And so one of the things I think is important is to remember, like, we want to be good partners. It's just sometimes we're not always as responsive as we should be. So some things to help keep honest. So the first thing is, when you contact us, make sure in your email that you give us a deadline. So if you're like, hey, I'm looking for someone to Zoom in at the end of March for this topic, that's perfect. Because if you just say, hey, I'm looking for someone who might be interested in doing this, that's open-ended, and so it gets pushed to the bottom of the list. But a date, make sure it gets prioritized, if that makes sense. So keep putting a date on it, so it's on our radar. We know that this is a terminal thing. We have to get around to it. Also, when you contact us, kind of be specific for what you're looking for. So if you're looking to have someone just come in, like if you contact Pete over in the College of Engineering and you say, hey, I want someone to come talk to my class, he's going to struggle a little bit. So say, can I have someone to come talk to my class and give an overview of the different programs offered in the College of Engineering? Or can I have someone come in and talk to my class about what does it mean to be an engineer, and what does that some of those careers look like? Okay, that's specific. That helps us. If if you're looking for someone who's like, hey, can I get a virtual tour of this, right? That's very helpful. So we know what you're looking for and know who to ask. And also it helps the professors that you get to Zoom in to narrow their topics. Because if you said, hey, can I get you to come talk to my class? Oh, okay, what do you want me to talk about? Well, anything you want. Well, I could talk about something. We're academics. We're kind of like into like one really specific thing. And so if we're given a chance, we're going to talk about one really specific thing. But if you say, can you talk to us about the importance of rotational grazing for land health? Well, sure, we can talk about that. Like, give us something that you want us to talk about. Otherwise, you might end up a place you don't want to be, which is really obscure and not necessarily related to class. Don't be afraid to follow up. If you've emailed someone and you haven't heard from them in like 3 or 4 business days, send another email to make sure it doesn't get lost, because we get, and I'm sure you do too, we get barrages of emails, like 100 emails a day. And so it's not that we care about our post-secondary partners. We love making partnerships with you. We know that you're so important for that career exploration. It's just sometimes it's not you, it's us. We just get deluged with so much. And so it's always, don't be afraid to follow up. And then the last thing I haven't written on here, but I will, because Michelle and I were just talking, is like about the new Perkins 5 requirement about how you have to have a letter from a post-secondary institution. Is don't be afraid after you've done that to email that person back and say, can I have a letter that says what we did together? So make sure you ask for that, because sometimes that might slip our minds. So that's just the important thing. And so Michelle, do you want to talk a little bit about the letter besides, because that's about all we know, correct?
Right, there isn't a whole ton of details. That's still being developed. Right now, we're concentrating really hard on the comprehensive needs assessment, as I'm sure you're all aware of. That will be the huge focus for this upcoming school year. But when we first released our information about Perkins 5, if you remember last year at summer conference, we went through and talked about the 5 different tenets. And one of those was partnering with post-secondary. And the information at that time was that it'd be connected to program approvals, that you would need to have a letter of recommendation or just a letter stating that you are working together with a post-secondary institution. And like I said, we're still developing things. Perkins 5 is still very new. We just got our state plan approved not too long ago. So as things continue to develop, we will push those out to everyone.
Michelle, there's a question for you in the chat from Amanda Hoover. That's a great question.
Yes. Yep. Those post-secondary partnership requirements, really the sky's the limit. Anything that you can do to connect your students to those post-secondary opportunities. So a faculty Zoom call, an AgBio ambassador visit, those would be fabulous things for you to partner with post-secondary institutions on.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the cool thing is, I mean, like I shouldn't talk about, like, it's not, COVID is not cool, for the record. It sucks, it's awful. But one of, as Ma Ingalls used to say, because I reread the Little House books during quarantine, because I just needed to remind myself people have been through worse hard times. Like no one is close to starving to death in the hard winter, so we're good. But Ma Ingalls used to say there's no great loss without some small gain. And so one of the silver linings to come out of COVID is faculty have started to Zoom into high school classrooms. And so there are faculty out there in colleges who are more than, like, A, know how to do it, but B, are very excited to connect with high school students and know that those skills already exist in the faculty. And then if you are further out in the state, so maybe you're West River or up in Harding County or something like that, we're getting better at being able to do virtual visits and virtual interactions. So that's another cool thing of that, is we're getting better at having more virtual interactions for our students. So what questions do you all have for us, or Dr. Graves, do you want to add in? Or oh, Dr. Graves is tagging in here.
Yeah, I thought I would just mention real quick. So we used to have the I Teach You event, where students who were particularly interested in careers in teaching, and we focused on ag education and family consumer sciences education, but honestly, any student who is interested in becoming a teacher from pre-K-12, and even wanted to teach at post-secondary level, we would bring them on campus. It was an application process. We would bring them on campus for a day, right? And show them a day in a life of what it was like to major in those career paths. Last year, we were going to try a spring conference, and of course, COVID happened. The year before, the weather was epic, right? And so we've been really disappointed that we have not been able to do I Teach You the last couple of years due to unforeseen circumstances. And so what we would like to consider is trying to do a virtual I Teach You. But we were hoping to get some feedback from all of you as to what you think the interest might be from students in doing a virtual version of that, just to expose them more to what those career pathways look like. And so any thoughts that you have on that in regards to timing, level of interest that you think students would have would be really helpful for us as we look forward to trying to plan a future I Teach You event that won't get canceled. Like if we go virtual, it's a little bit of a safer bet. Of course, it takes away from that exciting experience to be able to come to campus. So there's some give and take there, but that's kind of where our thoughts have been going, is maybe just trying to virtual I Teach You this time around. So I'll send it back to you, Dr. Hasselquist, if you have.
Cool. I think the other thing for us too, like if you have any questions you want to ask right now, let us know. If you have, hey, I want to know more about this, please ask. If there's an idea of something you would like to see the university put together, I mean, that doesn't mean we can do it, but we can certainly see if it's feasible. So just one of the things we had actually talked about before all this happened, like literally a week before, Dr. Graves and I went out with Dean Thorngren to talk about doing career camps on campus related to EHS. And so if those are things like, we would love it if there's something like a need that you see that you want filled, let us know, and we're more than happy to work towards that as well.
I think maybe I'll just add a little bit more about our ambassadors. I can speak more specifically to our student ambassadors in the College of Education and Human Sciences. We have students with a broad range of majors who serve in those roles, but they're cross-trained. And so they know about every major in our college. Of course, they're going to know more about their specific major because they're living and breathing that. But they do get trained by faculty members from every major across the college. And so those students can speak to lots of opportunities. And I think the connection that they can make to your high school students is something special and unique. As Zooming faculty members in is great too, but I think your students, if they're wanting to know about what life for them would be like at South Dakota State University, those ambassadors are much closer in age to your high school students, and so they're going to be able to bring kind of that touch to it that faculty members wouldn't bring. Of course, now faculty members, right, we're going to bring our own unique strengths and expertise and things into your class, but I would have you consider, right, partnering with our ambassadors as well as faculty members, just to have that broad range of opportunities for your students to see college life and then also learn about content areas.
And the cool thing about the virtual visits is they can come for one specific class one day, and then maybe 2 days later or a week later, they zoom into another class. So you can kind of be a little more flexible about when does it fit best in certain classes. So I think, Christy, I saw you unmute yourself and then mute yourself. So maybe that was a mistake.
Oh, Well, sorry. Yes, I'm doing this from my phone because my computer was kind of giving me a hard time the other day. But I was going to just say that I will reach out offline to Dr. Graves. I would be interested in hearing more about that virtual, the You Teach program. I coordinate youth internship programs for some of the high schools down around the Sioux Falls area. And we do have a lot of students that are interested in educational fields. And typically they will go in and volunteer in different classrooms, but we've always said that it would be nice to offer something else along with that. And so maybe that would be something that would be a good partnership. So I'll follow up offline on that. But thanks for the information. This has been really helpful.
I just dropped her email in the chat so you can have it, Christy.
Yep, thanks. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so I know Perkins 5 is a work in progress, but simple things like Amanda had asked about the Zoom professor, having the ambassadors visit, maybe getting your kids up to campus in the spring to tour a specific program or facilities. You know, we are here to help in whatever way we can. So we want to make it as easy for you as possible, because I know we all have so many things on our plate right now. Any more questions or thoughts or opinions?
I guess this is Christy Jackson again. So another role that I play is as CTE administrator for a couple of schools as far as the Perkins grant. And so one of the things that we are starting to talk about, and I would just be interested in knowing if anyone else is doing this, we are looking for ways to add stronger pathways that would lead from middle school to college. And you know, if a student is interested in ag engineering or computer science or whatever, are there certifications or specific dual credit classes that we could offer? So I'm just curious if any high schools are already looking at partnerships from that perspective. Like, you know, if we intentionally directed students to a class or, you know, some sort of a certification that would make sense before they get to you, you know, is anyone doing anything like that yet? Or are we kind of all in the same situation at the high schools?
I would let Michelle talk about that one because I know she's got an area to coordinate, so she might have more insight.
Okay, thanks.
Repeat your question again. I had a text I had to take care of there, sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. So for our consortium, we're looking at ways to partner with post-secondary schools as far as you know, real intentional college classes, dual credit classes that we should direct students to, or maybe certifications that we could have students take possibly in conjunction with their dual credit. So anyway, I'm just wondering, you know, for the group, if there's any that are already doing that, or if there's ways that we could look at that sort of thing with SDSU.
So you're looking at industry certifications?
Right, so,
or...
yeah, so like, for example, you know, if someone was going to go into the education field, are there certifications that we could have them pick up, you know, maybe that junior or senior year of high school before they get there, so they're able to do internships, or, you know, just those real intentional types of things. Like with engineering, are there specific dual credit classes that would help get them down that pathway? I guess, you know, thinking, okay, would they be able to get different types of summer jobs if they already have a certification, or would they be able to compete for internships sooner if they had certain classes underway as freshmen? So we're just looking for some real intentional things like that. And I was just curious if anyone had ideas. I think we're all kind of in that same boat with the Perkins requirement.
Yeah, so in the chat, I put in a link to our industry recognized credentials for the state. So we have some state approved industry recognized credentials. If there's some on there that you come across, or if there's a credential that you come across that isn't on our state approved list, you can actually submit a request for it to be added.
Oh, okay.
So you can look through those, and some of them definitely would give students a leg up on getting an internship. I would say like the OSHA safety certification that is across all 16 career clusters. And actually a lot of the tech colleges, a lot of their programs require the students to take that as a 2-credit class. So if they do that in high school and get that OSHA 10-hour safety certification in high school, it saves them 2 credits and $800 once they move on to their post-secondary program.
We thank you. We do have them do some sort of an OSHA certification and test. I don't know if that's the same that you're talking about, but I know our building trades instructor has spoken real highly of how that helps students to get summer jobs. So yeah, great. I'll take a closer look. Thank you.
I'll ask.
Yep, go ahead. Go ahead, Nicole.
I'll also add to that. If you also on the South Dakota Department of Education website, you'll find the CTE career clusters, and each cluster has a cluster overview page, and it's a multi-page document. And the first thing on those documents shows you post-secondary institutions related to those career clusters. And then that document also includes the certifications related to that cluster. And so it's the best kind of what I would say cheat sheet that we have for every career cluster. And it's the exact things you've been talking about, Christy.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
The other thing to think of, and I know I've heard more about it from the College of Ag and College of Engineering because of the way they are structured and they are funded due to grants. And so one of the things is, if you start to build relationships with people, let's say you work with Pete in College of Engineering, occasionally professors will write grants where they need to partner with high school students or high school teachers. And so that might be a way to kind of get them, it's not necessarily a true class, but that is a way to get some exposure and kind of help bridge them from middle school to high school or to college, like you were talking about. And so developing those relationships and just, you know, letting them know like, hey, if you ever need to partner with high school teachers and students, we have a trade industry like teacher who would love to do that, right? And so just knowing that sometimes, especially in the engineering and College of Ag world, they're looking to partner with high school teachers and high school students. So that's another option as well. It's not like every day it's going to happen, but those do come along. So.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions, comments, things you would like to see us try and organize for the future? Well, excellent. I think that there's like, Michelle, do you know anything about getting access to the Google Doc of the resources that Brianna sent out?
Yes, so, and I can drop it, the link. So on just the conference webpage, at the top, there are several headings. One of them is resources, and I put the link directly to the resources in there. So there's a resources page. It lists off every single session that we have during the virtual conference. And then you just click on it and it's a Google Doc that has, or a Google folder that has all the resources that the presenter has provided.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I have put together, I'm opening it right now. And so like I have put together the website, or the Word document, there we go. The Word document I had shared earlier, I put that up there. I will also drop in the 3 links that Sean shared us and just say like general South Dakota State and career exploration, but then it's broken down by colleges. And then the last thing I'll add in there is make sure to ask for a letter saying that this is what you did with SDSU, to make sure you can, you know, it's easy for your program approval. Well, any final parting thoughts, Michelle or Dr. Graves? No. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to working with you in the future, and hopefully you can get some great resources from SDSU and some expertise and some ambassadors in your classroom. So thank you very much.